So we are leaving from Truxton Park, and this is Truxton Lake right over here. The park was originally at one point going to be bulldozed into a parking lot for some golf course, but the city said, "Hey, we're not going to do that. We're going to make it into a park." And the lake itself is actually a long-term water supply agreement with Kern County Water Agency to maintain a water level year-round. And so it's one of the city's favorite spots, apparently, for people to come and hang out. Way better than a golf course parking lot.
Okay guys, we are on the Kern River bike trail in Bakersfield, California. And boy is it hazy here.
This bike path is actually pretty nice. It's paved, flat, real smooth, has some shade in areas, and it follows the Kern River corridor through a natural riparian zone before it gets to the lot more manicured area near the university and the Stockdale Highway. I understand wildlife sightings include roadrunners, valley quail, cottonwood rabbits, kit foxes. I saw a whole bunch of squirrels. But birders should have a good time here. Be sure and bring your binoculars.
The bike path surface is very smooth. But boy is it hazy in this town. And is it smog or is it fog? Judging from those guys over there, it might be smog.
So Bakersfield was founded in 1869 by Colonel Thomas Baker, who reclaimed some of the swamplands here nearby Kern River. He was a lawyer, politician, and a businessman. And Baker hand-selected his parcel for the place he wanted to lay his bones, and his grave is marked His grave in 1872 is marked the beginning what became the Union Cemetery, which is a resting place of Civil War soldiers. So Bakersfield is larger than I thought. It's the 9th largest city by population in California and the 52nd largest city in the U.S. It kind of surprised me. So the Southern Pacific Railroad reached the area in 1874, but actually bypassed Bakersfield itself due to a right-of-way dispute, placing the depot miles away. And the Santa Fe Railroad wasn't linked until 1894. Apparently the stubbornness on both sides shaped the city's layout for generations because the trains were so far out of town. Of course.
Oh, the water looks terrible. Lots of trash, likely polluted.
Speaking of pollution, in 1899, the town's development took a dramatic turn when oil was discovered, setting the petroleum industry skyrocketing and paving the way for major manufacturing growth. The Kern River oil field, which I think we saw across the way there, is still remains one of the most densely developed oil fields in the country, right here in the middle of town. Crazy. 1930s Dust Bowl immigration brought thousands of displaced farmers, Okies, to Bakersfield. These newcomers brought a powerful work ethic and cultural traditions that still shape the area, particularly through music. Their migration here was arguably the single most important cultural event in the city's modern history. city gained a little fame in the 50s and 60s for the Bakersfield sound, an electric guitar-given subgenre of country music that commercially dominated the industry for over a decade. Buck Owens, Dwight Yoakam, and Merle Haggard were its best-known stars. The Bakersfield sound offered a raw, unpolished alternative to the polished Nashville style, and it was a direct reflection of the Dust Bowl migrants' grit and sensibility. I guess there's a place called Buck Owens Crystal Palace. It's a restaurant and music venue on Buck Owens Boulevard. He saved the letters from Bakersfield's famous roadside Bakersfield sign when the old inn was demolished and incorporated it into a similar sign outside of his Crystal Palace. Welcome to Bakersfield, Buck Owens Bakersfield Crystal Palace. Hey, the band Korn is from here, too. Not exactly country music. So Bakersfield is home to the nation's largest carrot growers. Sweet, I love carrots. But nearby vineyards produce a tenth of all wine made in California. Somehow I never thought of Bakersfield wine. Maybe I should check it out. Nah, I'll stick to Napa. Maybe I will. If I'm not mistaken, we're going past Cal State Bakersfield on the left here. It sits on a 375-acre campus and was established in 1965. The steering committee chose Bakersfield specifically because at the time it was the largest isolated metropolitan area in the United States without a four-year university. Guess having a college is better than an insane asylum. So the CSU athletic teams here are called the Road Runners, which is pretty good since they're on the high desert scrublands of the San Joaquin Valley. So the Road Runners have had a pretty good history. They've accumulated 30 national championships and won the Sears Directors Cup in 1998. That's awarded to the university that collects the most points for success across all NCAA national championships. Apparently, wrestling is the crown jewel. They've won 8 Division II national championships. One legendary season, wrestler Joe Gonzalez finished 55-0, and his teammate John Acevedo went 53-0. That's pretty darn good division national titles. Apparently, there's a pretty awesome koi pond on the campus with also a wishing tree. I wish I'd have found that wishing tree. I wish, I wish, I wish. And get this, in 1973, Chief Justice Earl Warren, who presided over the Brown versus Board of Education decision, gave the commencement speech at CSBUB. His connection to Bakersfield, he was a 1908 graduate of the Bakersfield High School.
Oh, this is a busy path.
So Bakersfield's 2026 population is about 423,000. It grows at just under a percent annually, up 4.5% since the 2020 census. And as of 2025, Bakersfield had the fastest rate of population growth among the 10th largest cities of California, outpacing even San Diego. I used to live in San Diego. I loved it there. At any rate, the broader metro area altogether stands at about 751,000. Bakersfield is also the 5th largest majority Hispanic city in the U.S., with 53% of its population being Hispanic. The next largest is white at 29, Asian at 7.5, and then followed by Black African Americans. Wow, the median age is 32.1 years. That's pretty young. It's another large park, and it's called the Park at Riverwalk. Another area that was rescued from urban development. It has a 3-acre upper lake that meanders through the park down to a 2-acre lower lake. The lakes are our groundwater recharge basins for the Pioneer Canal. And the lower lake is a pretty popular fishing spot, which is regularly stocked with an annual fishing derby. Woohoo! In front of us is the Dignity Health Amphitheater, and it seats 4,000 people, and it's Bakersfield's premier outdoor performance venue. Yes, the Doobie Brothers, Earth, Wind and Fire, and Peter Frampton have played here, as well as other people. It looks like an island, this thing. I like the fountains. Nice. Squirrel! Nice looking cobblestone river here.
I think it's good like that. Don't know.
It skates like a dance. Apparently, the local cycling community has something called Bike Bakersfield, and they've been serving the city since 2005, and it's the largest bicycling coalition in the California Central Valley. They run something called Bike Kitchen, and it has free tool access and mechanical help, and they lead bike rodeos and education programs. and are actively working to make Bakersfield a more cycling-friendly city.
Look at me. Here we are. Sons of engineers.
There's a little bit more Bakersfield lore for you. In 1876, just 3 years after being officially incorporated, Bakersfield voted to disincorporate, essentially dissolving itself as a city. The reason? Businessmen wanted to fire the cantankerous city marshal, Alexander Mills. He was described as an old man who walked with a cane, but was a Kentuckian, handy with a gun and not lacking initiative. They feared him if they fired him directly, so they simply eliminated his employer. A citizens' council ran the community for the next 22 years. Get this. On December 19th of 1977, a massive dust storm rolled in. But the next morning, winds were measured at 192 miles per hour, blocking out the sun entirely. Over 25 million cubic feet of topsoil was moved. Freeways were buried. Roads in and out of the valley were closed for days. 5 people died, and damages were in the millions. See, I hope it doesn't blow while I'm around. Awesome. Hand sanitizer was invented in Bakersfield around 1966 by a young Latina nursing student named Lupe Hernandez, who came up with the idea to replace soap and water in order to speed up work in the hospitals. Given what happened in the pandemic, that's an awesome local trivia fact.
Lots of squirrels.
Apparently one of those giant carrot producers, Grimway Farms, has been credited with popularizing the baby carrot. Just shaved down big carrots, but awesome. Well, apparently the historic Padre Hotel downtown is one of Bakersfield's most haunted places. I think I'll give it a pass. But it was built in 1928, and it's a gorgeous piece of architecture. And I wonder how it got haunted. So the Rolling Stones referenced Bakersfield in their 1978 song, Faraway Eyes. They deliberately used the Bakersfield sound style. Nice. I'm a little bleary, a little worse for wear and tear, but here I am. And on February 24th of 2006, the mayor of Bakersfield officially declared it Corn Day in honor of the new metal band that formed there. The city even named a road near the arena Corn Row. Good job, guys. Immemorial. So apparently the Sam Lynn Ballpark, which is along this route somewhere, is one of only 2 professional ballparks in the U.S. where the batter faces west, meaning they look directly into the setting sun. So as a result, many of the summer games don't start until late, like 8 o'clock. Okay. It's probably cooler then, too.
I don't know when.
Wow, the Bakersfield Community Theater is the oldest continuously operating community theater in California. And it's the second oldest amateur community theater west of the Mississippi River. Imagine that. And here Hollywood gets all the fame. Tisk, tisk, tisk. So before any of this, the Bakersfield area was inhabited by the Yaulumni, a Yokuts people who lived in lodges along the Kern River Delta. The term Yokuts itself is one of their own words in the dialect that simply means the people. They arrived in the San Joaquin Valley about 8,000 years ago. It's the first Native Americans to settle here. The Kern River flowed through a great marsh of tule grass and cattails where Bakersfield now stands. At that time, the wetlands were so extensive they generally traveled by boats, and they used tule reeds to make houses and boats and baskets and many other things. They also hunted game birds, wildfowl, rabbits, turtles, fish, mussels, deer, elk, antelope. They had a staple food in the acorn mash. And they also gathered tule roots, iris bulbs to make flour, along with manzanita berries, pine nuts, and seeds. They even cultivated tobacco. Woohoo! And of course, after gold was discovered in California in 1848, white settlers flooded the valley and drove them off their land. And on to the reservations they went. Well, I don't know about you, but I learned more about Bakersfield than I thought I needed to know. Good deal. Thanks for pedaling along.
All right. Well, thanks for coming along. That was awesome. Thanks for watching. Slap that old like button. Leave me a comment. Have you ever ridden this path? Welcome to Bakersfield.